we're going to be talking about conspiracies. That's right. We're going to be talking about conspiracies today and how they affect us in everyday life. Well, I'm not going to be talking about them. I'm just going to be commenting on a clip that we're going to be watching about a individual who we've had on the we've had this individual on the channel before, and she has had some wild conspiracies. I think you remember the conspiracy where she said that men are uploading inappropriate images of women to Snapchat in this big group text message that every man has access to for some reason. She's the one who came up with that idea, but we have a clip we're going to go over, and she is going to explain to us this new conspiracy that is affecting women like her and dating in the modern world.
Oh, do you want to hear another absolutely disgusting secret about men?
Literally doesn't matter, because most men on dating apps right now, they don't want a girlfriend. They want a free therapist. And I have finally got proof that not only does Hinge know this, but they have perfected their algorithms to own in on this and exploit it and keep us all on the dating apps forever. So ladies, stop letting Paddington Bear here hurt your feelings, because is he wrong? No. But if you have to play that many games with a man, you really don't want that man, because he's never going to get better. So listen to me, because I finally have proof that Hinge is working against us, and I don't even know how it's legal. So I'm a seasonal dater, right? I like to go on dates in the summer, so I always download my apps around this time of year to find a new person. And every year in the past, it works. I usually find a cute boy to have a fun summer with, but this year I decided to take it a little bit more seriously. Like, I'm 25 now, let's try some actual adult dating. You hold them to adult standards, really have adult conversations, etc. So I set my age range to 25 to 30, and most of the boys I'm talking with are usually between 27 to 29, I found.
You blew it. Bish.
You know, and I'm not judging you, but I'm just saying everybody else is gonna.
Okay, so let's go over what she has just brought to our attention here at the beginning of her clip. She was talking about meeting men on Hinge, which, if you're not aware of, Hinge is someone else. Hinge is a dating app. Now, I haven't used Hinge. I'm not familiar with Hinge, but as far as I know, it is very similar to a lot of other dating apps out there where you kind of thumb through the pictures and you see the profiles. I think you can upload multiple pictures. I think the profiles have questions you can answer. It has prompts. I don't really know the freedom you have with typing on dating apps. I think a lot of them you can't really just type a bunch of stuff out. You can just do these random prompts or these suggested prompts that they give you. It's very curated like that. And so a lot of times men will just put random stuff because, upload a picture of their abs, they'll put random stuff, and then 20 minutes later they have 10 matches and they're pumping and dumping all of them all on the same day. That's how these certain types of men use these dating apps. Normal average guys don't do this. They just upload normal average pictures, and these pictures do not tantalize the young ladies. They do not like these pictures. It gives them the ick. Any woman that is between the age of 22 to 30 sees these pictures and they audibly gasp. They hate what they're looking at with these average men. They want to see the men with the six packs. They want to see the men that have 6'5" in their bio. They don't want anything less than that. Their standards are through the roof, and they're 25, and these men need to have mansions and Bugattis and six figures, and if they don't, then they're losers. Let's continue.
I know it sounds bad, but immediately I noticed there weren't really any cute guys on the app, which is unusual because usually there's like a grab bag and you see a little bit of both here and there. But it was really, really a dry spell this season. And then the second odd thing I noticed is that I pretty quickly hit that wall of it saying there's no people left in your area, which is crazy because I live in Minneapolis. It's a pretty decent sized city, and I've never seen that given the parameters before. And it seemed wild that many people just aren't dating right now. And so I decided, you know what, in the past when Bumble gave me a free membership for a couple months, I actually had some really good luck with that. So I decided that I was going to test it out and see if there really is a difference when you pay for Hinge. So I paid for 1 week of Hinge. I think it was like $15 or something kind of crazy. That's crazy for a week. Maybe a month, but a week? But I had to know. And right away, immediately once I purchased it, all these boys started filling my feed. Suddenly we weren't at the end of the stack anymore. Hot boys galore. And you would think, does this mean that I should pay for Hinge, right? Is that going to help? Here's what I noticed that was really interesting about it. We'll say boy number one, he got me off the app pretty quickly. He asked for my phone number so we could text and set up a date. And I was like, great, this is going super well. And so he was texting me and he's like, let's get to know each other a little bit before we set up a date. And I was like, that makes logical sense, I guess, even though we kind of know each other enough to set up a date at this point. But he started asking me questions. And let me tell you, first of all, the most boring conversation I'd ever had in my life. One of the questions was what your One of his important questions was literally, what's your favorite color? I was dying out here for any sort of interesting conversation or personality. And I let this go on for a while, longer than I should have. For like 2 or 3 days, he was telling me all about his day and everything he was doing. And I started to realize at no point is this going to turn into a date.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, gosh.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you fuck it?
What?
What this woman is experiencing here, now no man has experienced this, unless you're going to be paying the high dollars to be on these apps, which a lot of these men do. Sometimes you'll see men that don't get any options. They're on Hinge, they're on these dating apps, and they go through the 5 women that it's recommending to them, and then they go ahead and just pay the money, and then that way they get all the other matches. Well, she is being confronted with people that are on her level at this point. Now, she said that she is 25, so obviously she is used to being on the dating apps since she was probably around 18. So the past 7 years, she's had no issues on the dating apps. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you are a white female and you are under the age of 25, you are going to be getting all of the matches on these dating apps. You're going to be finding the hottest dudes. They are going to be in your area. They are going to be a phone call away. You will have 200 or 300 men matching with you, no problem. Even a woman that looks like this, the jawline and everything. You will have men knocking down your door, even with the deviated septum and the speech impediment. You will have men ready to lay pipe whenever. They're going to be your neighborhood plumber. They're ready and they're willing. Now, she is confused because she put her age range to a little bit older. She's dating with intention, I guess. But now she doesn't like what she's getting. She's having to have real world conversations now, and it's just not exciting enough. Fellas, you got to be exciting for these women. You have to turn everything up to 100, and you can't just be giving them boring questions like, what's your favorite color? Come on, let's continue.
This man is just using me to yap about his life. This man was just using me to vent about his day. Obviously, eventually I stopped responding because it was going nowhere and I was bored anyways and didn't want it to continue. Now, cute boy number 2, we had a great rapport. Our comic bits going back and forth. We were improvising. We were having fun. Like, chemistry was flying. I was like, we should start a podcast. Like, 2 of us together are hilarious. And I let it go on in the app for a couple of days just because the energy was so good. But then eventually I was kind of like, is this ever going to get moved off the apps? So I finally asked him, I was like, hey, is this going anywhere? I have to ask because we've been stuck on here for a while, even though I'm enjoying it. And he literally goes, I don't live in Minnesota right now. Doesn't even live in the state. He goes, I'm moving there in a couple of weeks though. And so I go, oh, are we going to go on a date when you get here, or let's the future of this hold? And of course he responds, actually, I'm just looking for friends right now, but maybe if we, no, cut off right there. Goodbye. I'm not looking for friends on Hinge, sir. The third cute boy asked for my number right away too, right? We're talking off the app. We're playing video games together. He keeps though asking me every weekend on a date after he goes to the gym at late o'clock if I've had dinner yet. And I'm like, dude, it's 8 o'clock. Of course I've had dinner. You have to ask me in advance. Do you not know how dating works, sir? So I try to explain this to him every time he does it, but it doesn't seem to change his behavior, and he just starts being rude and gaslighting. So finally on the 3rd week, maybe I need to ask him out, and maybe he just needs someone to give him that push. So I finally ask him out, and of course it falls through. He's like very not good with time, whatever excuse you want to give. And then I try to explain to him again why I'm frustrated, and he's not listening to anything I'm saying. And to this day, he's still messaging me like everything that's happening in his day. I just haven't responded. If you're watching this, stop messaging me. I'm not your therapist, and I'm not going to be your girlfriend, clearly, so we are nothing. And then one boy that I asked to move off the apps, I initiated everything. Eventually, he just kind of stopped responding to everything off of the apps as well.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
And here is reality right now, dating as a 25-year-old. She's going to be getting all of these bad men that, I'm going to be honest with you, in my opinion, I don't even think she'd be talking to these men if they weren't super attractive or met her height requirements or her salary requirements. She's just complaining because these men check a lot of her boxes, but they aren't but the personality isn't there, the banter isn't there, the perfect guy isn't there for her. Now you're probably going to ask me, hey rat boy, but she's 25, but what happened to the past 5 years when she was in her early 20s? She had plenty of time to get a man and kind of settle down and take a absolutely. But see, women don't do that anymore. No. Women right now, what modern women do is they will be on dating apps until, well, like she said, 25. She only dates during the summers, and you have somebody to have fun during the summer, and then she's single for the rest of the year, or whatever that means. And you have to understand that during all this, just because she says she's not dating, quote unquote, it doesn't mean that she's not hooking up with random people. She probably has 4 or 5 dudes that she hooks up with during the winter. Throughout the year, these random men are coming in and out of her house, and she, quote unquote, knows them or whatever, but she's also met them on dating apps. And so she's just building up her roster. She's dating, if you want to call it dating, and she's not finding the right guy. She's not going to find the right guy. Once they reach this age, 25 and older, men are either they've already found what they're looking for, or she's just not the right fit for them. They see somebody who is 25 and who acts this way, and they can definitely find someone that is a little nicer, a little more pleasant to be around, and those women are usually under the age of 25 for these men.
And then one boy that I asked to move off the apps, like I initiated everything, eventually he just stopped responding to everything off of the apps as well. And then all the rest of the cute boys I matched with, the conversation was very dry, very lacking personality, and then they never initiated anything moving off of the apps either. So the interesting change that I've seen overall if you pay for the Hinge subscription is that you get a lot more cute boys who are good at conversations that hold you hostage on that app. And it's almost like Hinge has noticed and observed this, so they will purposefully serve their paying members people who will keep them entertained but never removed from the app. And I wonder if this has to do with their new feature where every once in a while they'll ask you in a prompt like, hey, did you ever end up meeting up with this person off of Hinge? And that's why I don't respond to that prompt anymore, because now they know who's going to take you off the app and who isn't. And I think that they're calculating their algorithm around people who aren't taking you off of their apps, but are still extremely active on the apps and get a lot of matches, which inevitably then ends up being boys who are just looking for a full-time therapist for free and not.
She is completely lost with all of this. What she's failing to understand, and I'm sure you guys picked up on it as well, is that she is meeting men who are definitely paying to use that application. So why would these men waste that money to concentrate on you? They just paid for the month subscription. Some of them pay a few months in advance. Some of them pay for a year in advance. There's one app that you can pay $500 a month and get the unlimited access to random women, and just I think there's no barriers. You can just text, you can just reach out to these random women at any point. They are using a service they paid for, so obviously they're not looking for anything serious, because they're not going to waste their money that they just spent using the dating apps. They're looking to have fun, they're looking to hook up, they're not trying to use you as their therapist, they're trying to smash. That's what dating apps are used for. You're not going to find your person, your one true person on a dating app. Your, what do they call it? Soulmate on a dating app. It's not going to happen. Your soulmate is gone. He left. He's nowhere to be found. And actually, soulmates don't exist. Look, these women don't realize that you're not going to find this perfect man that's going to meet all of your qualifications. It's going to be a guy that meets some of them, sure, but a lot of it's going to have to be compromised, because that man isn't going to meet the perfect woman. He is going to find what he's looking for in you and then compromise the rest of it, because there is no perfect match for everyone. What do you think about this conspiracy? Do you think that these dating apps are trying to keep these people on the apps to generate this revenue? I 100% absolutely agree. And I've said this in a video previously. As these dating apps, as men start to withdraw from dating apps, because a large majority of men are withdrawing from dating apps, you have to understand that it's always been oversaturated with men on these dating apps. Now that men are withdrawing themselves, women are starting to see a flaw in these dating app designs. They're starting to see He said the algorithm that these dating apps want to put you into. They want you to stay on the apps. They want you to not meet the random men and uninstall the apps. They want you to stay involved and hook up because that is what's paying the bills. These men are paying monthly to hook up, and that's what they've been doing for years, for about a decade now, since these dating apps have been popular. But let me know what you guys think. That is going to be the end of today's spotlight video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.